What if I told you that the highest level of any skill actually requires less effort? That the true masters, the people at the absolute peak, get there not by adding more, but by letting go. Well, in this explainer, we're diving into a really powerful text by Xu Feng that's going to challenge pretty much everything you think you know about what it takes to be the best.
Yeah, I know. It sounds completely backward, doesn't it? But just stick with me here. This idea that the real path to becoming, say, a master swordsman or a brilliant strategist or even a truly wealthy person isn't about gaining more, but about letting go of something, that's the core puzzle we're going to try and unpack today.
So, to really get our heads around this pretty counterintuitive idea, we have to start by grappling with a series of riddles. Now, on their own, they might not make a whole lot of sense, but listen closely, because when you put them together, they reveal something profound about what it really means to reach the top.
Okay, first up, we have the paradox of the warrior. The highest form of swordsmanship is to have no sword. I mean, how is that even possible? Let's keep going.
And then, boom, another one that seems like a total contradiction. The entire point of war is to win, right? So how can the best way to do that be to avoid the fight altogether? You starting to see the pattern here?
And finally, we get the paradox of ambition. In a world that is completely obsessed with winning, we're being told that the ultimate victory is to not compete at all. So what is going on? What's the secret that connects this state of no sword, no fight, and no competition?
Well, the key to solving this whole puzzle, it turns out, lies in a single character. It's a really powerful concept that unlocks a completely different way of seeing the world. Okay, now this character, Wu, is so interesting. In English, we usually translate it as no or not, which kind of makes us think of a void or just emptiness. But its deeper meaning is much closer to the word without. It's not about having nothing. It's about being without the rigid form, without the attachment. So the master swordsman is without a physical sword because the sword has just become an extension of their own being. They've transcended the tool itself.
So here's the bottom line. The conventional way we think about mastery is all about force, technique, ego, holding the sword as tightly as you can. But this Wu path is about flow, intuition, and release. It's being without the need to force the outcome. It's literally the difference between struggling against the current and just effortlessly riding the wave.
And this isn't just some abstract philosophy for ancient warriors. Not at all. Once you really grasp this principle of being without attachment and force, you start seeing its wisdom everywhere, even in the most practical parts of our modern lives. The source text just applies the same pattern over and over again. The best management is no management. The greatest wealth is no property. The most brilliant strategy is no strategy. Let's actually break down what a couple of these really mean in practice. Now, this doesn't mean chaos or letting a company just fall apart. What it means is creating a system and a culture so perfectly aligned that the team basically manages itself. The leader becomes, without, the need for constant intervention because they've empowered everyone to act on their own, all toward a shared goal. And this one is even more radical. It's not saying you should have nothing. It suggests that real wealth isn't about collecting a bunch of things, but it's the freedom from those things. It's being without the anxiety, the burden, and the attachment that comes with owning stuff. True wealth is the freedom to experience the world without being weighed down by it. So we've seen how this idea applies to doing things. But in the end, this philosophy is really about how to be. It's a path toward a higher state of existence itself. And this path, it unfolds in this beautiful progression. You start by following nature, just acting in a way that isn't forced. That then leads to adapting to circumstance, where you're flowing with life instead of constantly fighting it. And from there, you find peace anywhere. You become unshakable. And the ultimate destination? Unifying with the Tao, becoming completely one with the natural flow of the universe. But here's where this gets really, really powerful. After laying out this entire philosophy of transcendence and effortless mastery, the author, Xu Feng, does something pretty remarkable. He admits he doesn't have all the answers. He leaves us with two questions he calls his own blind spots. And that's where we're going to end. If the highest form of warfare is not to fight, and the highest form of wealth is to have no property, then what is the highest form of emotion? And what is the highest, most transcendent form of love? The author leaves that one for us to answer.